Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? As you can tell by the title of this, I decided to do this because it's a rainy, kind of boring day over here. So I thought, why not? Hey, Tony, welcome. How's everything going? Pretty busy, but you have the next few days off of work, which is much needed. I hear you, Tony. I have today off, but I have to work tomorrow. And then I'm off Wednesday. So yeah. But I'm glad I'm able to stay at home and enjoy this rainy day. So I didn't really have anything planned for this stream. Well, I don't really have anything planned for any of my streams, really. But if you want to bring up a topic or something music related or ask me a question or whatever, I'd be down with that because I went into this stream completely blind. I don't have any topics or anything. I'm hoping to get at least a couple more people in here. But I understand it's early afternoon for a lot of people, and people do have to work and go to school and all that, and they may not have time to do these streams. And the only reason I decided to do this stream now instead of later tonight is because I'm here by myself. My mom doesn't get home from work until around maybe 4 o'clock. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to get this stream in before she gets home. So yeah. Are there any albums coming out that I'm looking forward to? Well, I told myself no, but I actually lied to myself. I made my top 10 albums of the year video yesterday, and I said that there weren't any more albums that I was looking forward to. But that's a lie. There's actually one more that I'm looking forward to, and it comes out this upcoming Friday, November 16th, and it's the album "Broken" by Memphis May Fire. But as far as any other albums go, I can't think of any besides the Memphis May Fire one that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, man. They have like the only single I think that they've released from that album is that song called "The Old Me," which I really like. the music video is pretty interesting for it too. They just released that a couple of days ago. I think it's a good song, and I know Memphis May Fire used to be pretty much like metalcore, and now they're like hard rock. But I like how it sounds. I like how Matty Mullins sounds. That's the lead singer. Um, I like it. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, man, you're gonna listen to it. That's cool. It's not that long of a song at all. It's only like a little over 3 minutes long, but it's a good song. It's very very relatable. I'll ask you the same question, Tony. Is there any more albums this year that you're looking forward to that you know of at least? Not that you know of, but just in case there are, you're making your year-end list video in December. Yeah, I honestly thought about doing that. I thought about just waiting until December, but I just decided, like a dummy, that there weren't any more albums that I was interested in, and I just remembered after I got done making that video about the Memphis May Fire album. So yeah, I kind of lied to myself. But I honestly can't think of anything else coming out that we would like. Sorry if you heard that noise. That was me trying to send the word out about this stream. Yeah, I can't think of anything else coming out that I would be interested in. Or maybe there's a couple of albums of this year that I've missed and just didn't realize it. I know a lot of people were talking about the Judas Priest album Firepower, which I haven't gotten around to listen to yet, and I honestly don't think that I am because there's something about bands from the '80s and stuff that I just can't seem to get into that much. Hey, Jonathan, welcome. I'm glad. I'm glad you're here. Now we got two people. But Tony and I were just talking about if there were any more albums coming out this year that we were looking forward to, and I told him that the only other one I can think of is the new Memphis May Fire album that comes out on Friday called Broken. Yeah, there isn't anything else you're looking forward to. Yeah. Yeah, same here. Like I keep saying, other than the Memphis May Fire album, that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But Tony, have you seen my top 10 albums of the year video yet? I just posted it sometime yesterday. You like Memphis May Fire, but you're not a huge fan. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I like a couple of their songs, but hopefully this album, Broken, is going to be the album that really um, introduces me to the band. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, you saw it? Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was hard making that list because one album that I really liked this year ended up not making the cut by like just a small fraction. It made my honorable mentions, and that was the Surrender the Crown album, The Never Ending Now. So, yeah, that list was trash. Yeah. I'm sure it probably would be trash to people who don't like pop punk, rock, and or good music of any kind. So you're probably right about that in some aspect. Hey, Zach D's here. 15 minutes can save you 50% or more on car insurance. You said that last time, if I remember right. Think of something a little more original, would you? Gosh. But no, it's nice to see you, man. How are you? I see what you did there, Jonathan. I'm doing good, Zach. Just enjoying this boring, rainy day here. I'm taking advantage of this stream time while I can. I decided to go ahead and do this early afternoon stream. Well, it's early afternoon for me. I don't know if it is where you guys are, but I decided to do this before my mom gets home from work because this kitchen is this kitchen. I say that like it's a new kitchen. My kitchen is apparently right now the best place for me to stream. You know, it seems like it has the best quality out of any other room I try to stream in. So, oh yeah, I know you got that pun from Zach because that was the name of his stream last night. I went to his stream last night. I was there for about how long was I there? About 20, 30 minutes. Well, the point is, I was there. So, Zach, like I was telling everybody else here, uh, You didn't make it in time for his stream. Yeah, I did. I don't remember seeing you in there, Jonathan. Yeah, you like streaming here and there. Sometimes it's a risk or a hit or miss. Yeah, I definitely agree with that because you don't know. Like I just said, people may be at work or they may be at school, and I know that's why a lot of people decide to stream at night. But even then, you don't know if you're going to get anybody in the stream or not because they may be tired from their work day or their school day. So, you know, yeah, that's why I like to do mine during the day. So just keep that in mind for any of my future streams. I like to do it early afternoon around this time. So next time I decide to do a stream, you'll know. And plus, I think it has I think my streaming has better quality during the day as opposed to nighttime. Some people might walk in on your stream in suspicion. Nah, well, I let's just say I don't have to worry about that because it's just me and my mom living here. I don't live, I'm the only child here, so I don't have to worry about that. And besides, even if my mom were to walk in right now, she would know what I'm doing because I tell her about these streams. So, yeah. Hey, Mats. Hey, did you hear the new Muse record? No, I'm honestly not a fan of Muse that much. But if you liked it, then that's good. A lot of people don't have time for joining streams. They'd rather watch TV. There's nothing wrong with that. I watch TV all the time, and there's nothing wrong with me. I am completely healthy. Well, never mind. I'm not that healthy. Well, your mother probably is probably isn't psychotic like mine. Psychotic in what way? Because that can be used a lot of different terms, a lot of different ways. I mean, depends on what you mean. Like with a knife going to stab you, psychotic, or like psychotic, like in what way? Yells at you, that kind of psychotic. Because personally, I don't think my mom would do that sort of thing. At least not when I'm awake. Now, when I'm asleep, that's a different story. Nah, my mom wouldn't do that kind of stuff. My mom's a nice person. My mom's very chill. Oh, the Muse album wasn't that great. I'm sorry to hear that, guys. They spoiled all the good songs by releasing them as singles before the album came out. Yeah, it seems like a lot of bands are doing that these days, releasing songs as singles, and then by the time the rest of the album comes out, you don't even like it's not a surprise anymore. If I was streaming, she'd probably think I was trying to meet up with some girl. Well, hey, my mom would probably be thrilled as heck if that happened to me. Limp Biscuit's better than Breaking Benjamin. Well, Jonathan, it was nice knowing you. I'm going to have to ban you now. Let me just find the block button, and this will be painless for all of us. I promise. No, in all seriousness, Limp Bizkit. I don't see how anyone likes that band. I mean, I can't. Limp Bizkit is like the epitome of I don't know what they're epitome of. They're like a pimple on the butt of society is what they are. No, your mom is totally against you trying to find a soulmate. Really? No, my mom would probably be jumping up and down if I got a girlfriend through one of these streams. But no girls ever come to my streams. Or I could ban MJ Nation. MJ Nation doesn't even come to my streams. In fact, I don't even think he's subscribed to me. I don't even think he knows who I am, even though I've been to a couple of his streams. Limp Bizkit sucks. Yes, Tony, I definitely agree with that. MJ Nation loves Limp Bizkit, but not Demon Hunter. That doesn't make any sense to me, Zach. On the same day as Muse, this small post-grunge band called King Nun released an EP, which compensated for the disappointment that was. Sorry, I lost it. Which compensated for the disappointment that was the new Muse record. Oh, okay. I've definitely never heard of them before. Oh yeah, Zach D. I remember that girl. What was her name? Like Svetlana or something like that. Yeah, she was definitely talking crazy. I apologize for all the typing. I know your ears are ringing, and I promise I'll be done with it in a second. We got new Architects and All That Remains on the same day. Now, I do love the new All That Remains album. I really do. It was number 8 on my list, but that's only because I've never been a huge All That Remains fan anyway. Like the only album, I think I mentioned this in my video, the only full album I've ever heard from them was Overcome. And I know people always talk about that one and The Fall of Ideals, which I know came before Overcome. So yeah, but I liked Victim of the New Disease. I really did. So you want to know what really doesn't make sense? He's into Kill Switch Engage, but thinks Demon Hunter is nothing special. That is interesting. I personally prefer Demon Hunter over Kill Switch Engage, but I like them both. Ban him. I can't ban him if he doesn't show up to my stream or even know about my streams. You check. Okay, Mott's. Just now seeing your comment, Mott. I checked out one of the Demon Hunter albums, but I can't recall which one. It was the one with Someone to Hate. Yeah, that one was definitely what Tony just said. The album True Defiance. That's a great album. But my personal favorite Demon Hunter album, and I think almost everybody's favorite Demon Hunter album, is their album The Triptych. And because that album has my personal favorite Demon Hunter song out album. That has my favorite Demon Hunter song on it, which is oh, what was it? I just had it. Oh, 1,000 Apologies. That's my favorite Demon Hunter song of all time. Demon Hunter is way more diversity than Killswitch Engage. Most people who do check out Demon Hunter usually like them. I can I can see why. Killswitch Engage is a really good metalcore band, but other than that, they're not too special. Well, you know, I think I may have said this to you guys before, but the only version of, excuse me, the only Killswitch Engage version that I do like is the Howard Jones era. And I know that he's not the original vocalist, which at the time I didn't know that. I thought that Howard Jones had been there since the beginning, but I know it was Jesse Leach, and that's no disrespect to him. I've heard some of the songs with him as the vocalist, but I just prefer Howard Jones. I always have preferred him because his voice, like when Howard Jones sings, it's like I feel it. And with Jesse Leach, yeah, he's a great vocalist in his own right, but Howard Jones just has more of a presence, a vocal presence to me. So, yeah. And ironically, Killswitch Engage actually has my favorite song of all time. And that's definitely, yeah, I would have to say Killswitch Engage holds my favorite song of all time. And I bet you guys can't guess what it is. It's not an original, I mean, it is an original track, but it's not on the regular version of any of their albums. I think it's on the deluxe version of one of their albums. And I'll let you guys guess what song I'm talking about. MJ says Demon Hunter's nothing special. I don't agree with his assessment. Howard Jones is a great vocalist. Yeah, he is. He is. I prefer him over Jesse. See, Mott's. I have drama on school tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. Just wanted to share that. Oh, that's cool, man. Is it like you talking about like a play, a school play or something? So I actually was going to be in a school play back in middle school, like 7th or 8th grade. We were doing an adaptation of Sleepy Hollow, and I was going to play the Indian chief. That's just the role I got. I ended up getting fired from it because I missed 2 practices that I thought were I thought the practices were the next week, but it ended up being the week before that I didn't go. So oh, it's a school play. That's cool, man. I hope it goes well. And Demon Hunter, I did not, Zach, I didn't realize that Demon Hunter actually had more ballads than Killswitch. I had no idea. But then again, I haven't really listened to all of Killswitch Engage's albums. So to be fair, I've only listened to the ones with Howard Jones, The End of Heartache, As Daylight Dies, and the self-titled. Wait, has Howard Jones only done vocals for those 3 albums? Oh, Jonathan, you got it right. It's not Holy Diver. It's This Fire, or as I call it, This Fire Burns. That's my favorite song of all time. You guys probably didn't see that one coming. See, for someone who loves pre-ordering box sets from bands, I'm surprised MJ can't get into Demon Hunter. Yeah. To each their own, right? You're performing at the end of March. Oh, that's cool, Mott's. I hope it goes well. Like what play is it? Is it like an adaptation of a play, or is it like an original thought up play by somebody? Or yeah, there's like 3 or 4 albums with Howard. Yeah, I definitely remember him being on the 3 that I just mentioned, which is what I personally like from Killswitch Engage. Yeah, this fire, it's called This Fire, but I've always known it as This Fire Burns. So screw you, I'm going to call it This Fire Burns. Okay, that's what I know it as. But yeah. In all seriousness, yeah, This Fire Burns is my favorite song of all time. At least it is right now, and it has been for like 10 years. He says it isn't because they're Christian, but I don't buy it. Yeah, that'd be something else to talk about with the whole Christian thing. And Tony, are you still here? I assume you are. But we talked about, like, there's a guy in this new. I hope I'm allowed to talk about this. But there's a guy in this new adaptation of the Robbie group that we were all in, that he always puts down anything religious, even if they don't actually, even if they don't mention God per se, especially Skillet. And look, I can understand why people don't like Skillet. I really can understand that. But you guys all know that Skillet is my favorite band. But even I can point out when they don't do something good. And Unleashed was not a good album. I can admit that. But it's hard seeing people trash the bands that you like. And for years, you didn't think there was anything wrong with these bands. That's how I am when I see people trash Skillet. Look, if you don't like them, that's fine. I've got no problem with people not liking Skillet. But to say that they're complete trash, I would never say that about a band that someone liked, no matter how much I didn't like them. So, yeah, Brandon. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about, Jonathan. Brandon Rose, or whatever his name is. Oh, it's a Dutch adaptation from an English play called Voices from the High School. That sounds interesting. That sounds really interesting, Mats. I hope that goes well. Like I'm sorry, guys, if you heard that. I'm on Facebook and I'm taking, I'm getting messages from different people, so. Demon Hunter's more preachy than Red. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and I think I love Red. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. I just lost my train of thought. I completely forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, I was saying now I love Red. I personally wasn't a big fan of the album Gone, and you guys know that. But uh but yeah, I like Demon Hunter's lyrics more than Red, because it makes you, I'm not saying that Red doesn't have lyrics that make you think, but Demon Hunter's lyrics really cause you to use your brain. That and the band Silent Planet. Zach, I'm only going to say Silent Planet once in this whole stream, I promise. I'm not going to bring up Silent Planet anymore. I mean, Silent Planet. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You know how I feel about them, and you know how much I've wanted you to check them out. Just Silent Planet. That's all I have to say. Okay, I missed a couple of more comments while I was going on my Silent Planet. Sorry, I was going on my little tangent there. Yeah, Demon Hunter's lyrics can be interpreted anyway. Well, I think that goes for anybody, really. You can interpret the lyrics however you want to. It doesn't matter if it's a Christian message or not, whatever it means to you. That's what's important. And I agree with you, Zach. Doesn't matter. If you're a Christian, fine, whatever, but don't attack Christians based on their beliefs. Exactly. Like, I wouldn't go up to an atheist and say you're wrong just because you don't believe in God. I mean, that's stupid. Okay, Jonathan, you said, yeah, you joke about bands being trash, but you don't actually say it to people who like bands like Five Finger Death Punch and Black Veil Brides. Yeah. And the thing about it is, I actually like a couple of Five Finger Death Punch songs. But I'm not talking about anything from And Justice for None or whatever, but I'm talking about from the American capitalist days. Songs like Remember Everything and Coming Down, Under and Over It. Those, I guess you could call them classic Five Finger Death Punch songs. Yeah, people think all Christians are like Westboro. Yeah. Speaking of which, how cool was it to have Zach Phelps Roper in there, a former Westboro member, for my Halloween stream the other night? That was pretty cool, wasn't it? And yes, that was the real Zach Phelps Roper. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I wouldn't joke about something like that. Yeah, it was cool. I've been friends with him. Let's see, he left Westboro in February of 2014, and I've been friends with him since about May of 2014. So a little over 4 years, almost 5 years. He's told me a lot about how Westboro really is. I mean, God, his mom is probably one of the most infamous Westboro members. His mom is actually Shirley Phelps Roper. And how many of you guys know who that is? Obviously, you guys know about Westboro, so do you know who Shirley is? I feel popular responding to these messages. Yeah, it was a cool stream. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do another one like that. Yeah, and exactly what I was saying, Mots. Yeah, the lyrics are written from the writer's perspective, the writer's message. And you don't have to interpret it that way exactly. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. Some other YouTuber and his clique even started all kinds of crap with me solely based on the fact that I was a churchgoer. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't like people like that, man. Oh, he was in Monica's stream. Wait, you're talking about her stream the other night when she did the like the TFK picks and the MCR picks. You talking about that stream, Zach? Yes. Oh, okay. Maybe. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, Zach. I think I remember him. What was his name? Like water plunk or something like that. Oh yeah, Zach. I do remember that. I do remember that. It may not have been him. I think it was like Monolith or something like that. Oh yeah, Monolith. That is who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I definitely remember that. And I couldn't believe he said that either. I'd like to think he was just joking about that, but you never can tell with people. Okay, I missed something that Zach said. I'm not Zach, Jonathan said. There's always two sides to this argument. One, there's people that hate on all Christian music like Brandon and others, yeah. And two, there's those people that say you can only listen to Christian music, yeah. And I don't agree with either of those sides because I don't just listen to Christian rock and metal and whatnot. I mean, if that was the case, then that means the only bands I would listen to would be Skillet, Thousand Foot Crutch, Red, Demon Hunter. I'm trying to think of some other well-known Christian bands. Uh, Hawk Nelson, Reliant K. You know, but thankfully, I'm actually open to secular music, which introduced me to bands like Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin, Slipknot, a little bit. Uh, what is Brandon's problem with Christian bands? Oh man, if you were in there, you would see it. It doesn't matter if it's Skillet. Now, Skillet is the one that he rips on the most, but Skillet, Red, TFK, if you bring up a Christian band in that, in that group, he'll crap all over it. Doesn't matter how preachy or non-preachy they are. Gets a little aggravating. Say a lot of atheists claim that religious people tend to think they have a monopoly on the truth. Yeah, but whenever I speak with religious people, they always clarify it's just what they believe. Yeah, and then that's how it is with me. I am a Christian. I do uphold the Christian faith, and there are days when I don't act like a Christian. I cuss. I do things that a Christian probably isn't supposed to do. But then again, we all do. We're all going to screw up. And that's exactly how it is with me. It's just what I believe. I'm not out here to try to tell people that, I'm right and you're wrong. No, that's not my place. I assume you're talking about the band Spoken, Jonathan. I love Spoken. I have a vast majority of their albums. Really good band. But knowing that Brandon guy, he probably would have a problem with Spoken too, since Spoken is another Christian rock band. You only listen to a handful of Christian bands, but seriously, who gives a crap if they're Christian? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But when we but when you start talking about satanic bands, that's where I draw the line. Or anything, I can't listen to anything that makes fun of Christianity or anything satanic like. I can't listen to stuff like that. If you want to be heavy and scream and whatnot, yeah, bring it on. But like, stuff like, you know, now watch, I'll probably say a band that everyone likes and won't be satanic at all. um, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to run the risk of looking stupid for everybody. So, oh, and as far as your comment about him being in this stream, Zach, that's not. I don't think that's ever going to happen because like Brandon, he only pops into that group like every so often. Not nearly as much as me and Jonathan and Mott's and Tony and all them do. So yeah, and plus I wouldn't invite him to this stream anyway because I don't want to talk to someone who's closed minded. I mean, if you want to disagree with me, you can disagree, but don't run down what I believe. That's how I am. You start attacking what I believe, that's what I have a problem with. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he is a cool guy, but you know, uh, it's just the fact of how he talks about religion. That's the only thing about him I don't like. It's like I get it. You don't like religion. You're an atheist. Whatever. Okay, that's fine. You can be an atheist, but just try to be respectful to people and their religious beliefs. You feel like that's why you don't appeal to a larger metal audience because you don't because you don't say "Hail Satan" or talk about bands that are more satanic. Hey, you just do you, man. You know, be who you are. And I wouldn't want to. I mean, I know I talk about wanting to get 100 followers or 100 subscribers. I mean, but that doesn't mean anything if I'm going to get people who just openly trash everything that I like, or if they just trash what I believe, or whatever video I'm doing that day. That doesn't mean anything to me. I have 78 followers, and I'm if that's all I have until the day I die, I'm completely fine with that. And pretty much, even though I have 78 followers, only 3 of you watch anyway. So, you know. Oh, Jonathan, don't bring up Cannibal Corpse because I can't do it with them. And I think I've said this before. They have one song title that pains me to say every time I see it. And I think you guys know what song I'm talking about. I mean, it hurts me to even think about. And if you guys make me say it, I swear to God, I'm cutting this stream off. I really am. You probably talk about Demon Hunter too much for some metalheads. And the thing about it is, Demon Hunter is metal. I mean, metal core, but still, they're heavy. They scream. What do you want? Just because they have a Christian message. Yeah, that's. Sorry. Deathcore and black metal. Yeah, deathcore and black metal are probably the worst metal subgenres. Yeah, I can't listen to stuff like that. I just can't do it. You think you know what song I'm talking about? I hope you know because I don't want to say it. I don't even like to think about that song title from Cannibal Corpse. Well, Mach, that's all right. You really want to figure out where you stand on religion. You haven't been raised religiously, and the only openly religious person you know is your grandfather. Well, that's all right, man. I didn't really start believing in God until I was like I was a young kid. I can't tell you what age exactly, but there's nothing wrong with wanting to discover if you think that God is real or not. But I can't tell you if he's real or not. Just because I believe and have faith that he's real doesn't mean that I know for sure that he is. And I think that's one of the beautiful parts about being religious, honestly. But at the same time, being a Christian is hard. It's really hard. Um, there will be days where you question God's existence. There will be days where you'll praise him if something good happens. But then when something bad happens, we'll turn on him in a heartbeat, you know. But it's okay that you don't have it figured out quite yet. And I know what Christians say. Well, you need to figure it out before you die, and that might be true. But you know, um, I believe that God will let anybody come to Him. That's what I believe. As far as whether hell is real or not, and all these things that are supposed to be sinful, that a lot of Christians don't think are sinful now, I don't get into all that because I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if hell is real or not. I don't know if God is real or not. But I can't believe that. I just can't believe that this is it for us. I don't believe that this is it. Like this life that we're living now, I can't believe that this is it for us. I believe that something had to have created all of this. Your parents always turned you off from Christianity, and it wasn't until later in life that you made your own decision. Well, that's yeah. I hear a lot of stories about people turning. Well, about I forgot what I was going to say again. You're only 19. Well, hey, man, I'm 26, and I still struggle every day with sin and stuff. Oh, you're welcome, Mots. Just because you decide to let God in doesn't mean that things are going to get any easier. Life is still going to go on. But, if you do decide to let God in, I do think that, and I'm not wise at all, but based on what I believe, I think that God will accept you. I think he'll accept anybody that comes to him. Doesn't matter if you think you're the lowest of the low, he can save anybody. And I truly believe that. But when you get into the technicalities about, like I said, whether hell is real or not, or if, all these things that Christians don't really think is a sin now that is a sin in the Bible and whatnot, I don't get into all that because, like I just said, the truth is we don't know. We like to sit and pretend like we know, but the truth is we don't know. We don't truly know how God operates. We only know that He says that He loves us for all eternity and we're His children. And like I said, I just can't believe that this life is all that's left for us. There's got to be something more. There has to be. Otherwise, what are we living for, really? That's how I see it. And all these people, all these scholars that release books claiming they know, you have just because you have a piece of paper that says that you're a master in, religious whatever, doesn't mean that you know everything. That's why I don't like religion, man. I don't like religion and I don't like politics. I don't like to talk about either of those things, really. Because all those subjects do is divide people. And the last thing that we need in this world is more division. And all these people that say that they want to come together and love and all that, those are the same people that still like to divide. I mean, how many times do you turn I'm sorry to go on this rant like this, but I just got to get this out. You see all these debates, these religious debates, these political debates, and how many times do you ever actually hear them talk about the problem? Instead, what do they always do? They start screaming and yelling at each other, claiming, no, this is right. No, this is right. This is right. And obviously, they're both wrong because they're not talking about anything. And that's why I don't vote. I'll be the first one to admit it. I don't vote. Okay. Because the same people that are bitching and complaining, excuse my language, I try not to cuss on my streams and whatnot. But the same people that bitch and complain about how this world is are the same people that are voting these dumbasses into office. That's what I don't understand. And they say voting is important. It doesn't mean anything if you're going to vote a dumbass in. And I'm not talking about Trump. I know people don't like him, but that goes for any official position, mayor, governor, senator, whatever. We need to save this world. Well, how can you save the world when you're making it worse? And that's all I believe that we're doing. We're not helping this world. We're making it worse. Well, I got a little fired up there. I apologize. And I agree. Religion is just rules. You voted for Trump. Well, that's cool, man. I'm not going to hate on that. Like you just heard me say, I didn't vote, and I'm never going to vote. People like to say that people that don't vote is part of the problem. If anything, I think voting is the problem because people are voting these people in. We're doing it to ourselves, as far as I'm concerned. But you're not that you're not that political to begin with. I'm not either. I am. If you were to look up the word anti-political in the dictionary, there's a picture of this face. I'm as anti-political as it gets, man. I mean, if there was a protest for anti-politics, oh, I'd be lining up at 6 a.m. in the morning like it was a pair of Jordans waiting on me. I really would. Anyway, back to music. It's funny how these streams go and how your mind just dang, that's like the third time I've seen someone. Sorry, my neighbor was pulling in, and I thought they were pulling into my driveway for a minute there. But you are political, Mont. Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, we can agree to disagree because I'm not like I said I'm not political in any way. So they're fans of my channel. No, I'm not going to do that because, ironically enough, it happens to be a white van, and I've heard about what happens to people who drive white vans and what they try to do, and I'm not going to get lured again. So, yeah, music. Did I know that Sebastian likes Time the Evaluator? Yeah, I do. I did know that. He talks about them like well, not all the time, but he's mentioned that band in passing more than a few times. So, yeah. Well, I didn't intend for this stream to take a tangent like it did, but when people bring up religion and politics, well, I guess I kind of did it to myself. You know, I'm not blaming anyone here for bringing it up because I'm the one that went off on that little rant. So, yeah, it's my fault. So you really hope to get your copy of All That Remains? Oh, you still haven't gotten it yet? Because I remember you saying that in the stream last night that you were still waiting on it. Oh, you listened to Until We Have Faces today? That's a great Red album. It really is. And in my honest opinion, and this is going to be another unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, Until We Have Faces was Red's last great album. I know, like, what about Of Beauty and Rage? And yes, that is a great album. I admit that. That is a great album too. But uh, Red has just fallen off for me since Release the Panic. Release the Panic and Gone are still my least favorite Red albums to this day. Until we have, not Until We Have Faces, but what did I just say? Of Beauty and Rage. That is a great album, but it doesn't. Yes, that's probably their most theatric and kind of awe-inspiring album that they've done. Definitely their longest album that they've ever done. But I don't, and maybe it's not fair for me to uh, maybe it's not fair of me to say that Until We Have Faces was their last great album, but like I said, when Release the Panic came out, they completely fell off for me. So when A Beauty and Rage came out, I liked it. I like songs like Darkest Part and Falling Sky, Gravity Lies, Part That's Holding On, stuff like that. But it just doesn't. I'm trying to think what it is about A Beauty and Rage that keeps me from saying it's a great album. And believe it or not, and this may shock a lot of you, but I think it would actually have to be the theatrics that I didn't like. And when I say theatrics, I'm not talking about like the strings and the orchestral elements, because I loved that. I think some of the songs were way too long. And I didn't really like how a lot of songs had like that dip in the middle. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying, but like, I don't even think I know what I'm saying. But like how in some of these songs, after that last chorus or the second chorus, it just does that dip in the bridge, and it just goes all over the place, and then it comes back like 2 minutes later. Like that kind of turned me off a little bit. And Gone, you guys know how. And Jonathan, I'm sorry, I know Red's your favorite band, but and don't get me wrong, I still like Red. I do, I really do. But with this new album that they're coming out with next year, I hope it's not like Gone. I hope it's not like Release the Panic, and I hope in some way that it's not like A Beauty and Rage either. You talk about me wanting a band to go back to their core sound. I would love nothing more than Red to go back to Until We Have Faces and Innocence and Instinct and End of Silence, because those are Until We Have Faces is my personal favorite Red album. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I know Red's your favorite band. Are you still here? I hope I didn't make you mad with that, because the last thing I want to do is make anyone mad with my opinions. Yeah, man, we just have different opinions. Now, am I looking forward to Red's new album next year? Oh, yeah, of course I am. Just because I didn't care for Gone doesn't mean that I'm still not looking forward to it. I just hope they have, and I know I've harped on this before, but the main thing that I didn't like about Gone were the electronics. They used it, they relied on it way too much. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't like when bands experiment. I really don't. And I know that's exactly what people like about bands when they experiment, but every time it seems like every time I like a band and they try to experiment, it doesn't work for me. When they go all electronic and techno and whatever, you know, that's just me. I guess that's the God honest truth, and I never thought I would say that, but I don't like when bands experiment and go away from their core. I don't like that. Maybe that's why I like Breaking Benjamin so much, because they stay the same constantly. Have we ever heard of Mr. Bungle? No, I can't say I've ever heard of that. Is that like a person, or is it a band? Unstoppable was one of their worst songs, even though it was a cover. Yeah, I didn't even know that that was a Sia cover. I really didn't. But of all the artists to cover, they chose Sia. I don't get it. As for you, A Beauty and Rage is a spiritual journey that connects with me like no other album. It's still in my top 10 albums. Well, hey, that's great, man. I'm not dogging A Beauty and Rage at all. It is a good album, and I'm glad that it resonates with you like that. No, that's how I am with Skillet's Comatose album. You know. But anyway, I do think Breaking Benjamin lives on past success. Instead of trying new things, they tried too hard to recapture vibes of Saturate and Phobia. Well, yeah, I can see that because Breaking Benjamin is the type of band that really doesn't try any. And I don't know if they don't try anything fancy. He said, I don't remember what the question was that he was asked, but I think it was something to the effect of, what can we expect on another Breaking Benjamin album going forward, or like what was the inspiration behind I don't remember the question, but the answer was like, well, there isn't a certain thing that they like to try that's new. He said if I think it's good, I'll write it, and we'll put the music to it, and we don't like to stray away from what works. That's pretty much the gist of what Ben said. So I like bands that are able to openly admit that they don't like to do stuff. So, okay, Mott's. It's a very, very weird band with the singer of Faith No More. I've heard of Faith No More, but I haven't listened to their stuff. Sort of like, oh, you love Phobia. Here, we're going to throw in intros and outros in our future albums. Yeah, I have noticed they've done that since Phobia. And my guess is whenever they make a new Breaking Benjamin album, my guess is it's going to have that too. Oh, excuse me. Skillet fell off for me as a whole, but Comatose is also in my top 10 albums due to what it did for me in my darkest days. Yeah, I know Skillet gets a lot of crap that I don't understand, but all right. As for Gone, you get the criticisms, but you think it worked well. That's cool. Like I said, if you enjoy it, then enjoy it. Don't let my opinion stop you from liking what you like. Because it's just, one thing I also want to say about when people give their opinions. Just because I'm saying that I don't like Gone or anything like that, that's not a fact. It's not a fact that Gone is a bad album to me. It's my opinion that I think it's not that good of an album. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. An opinion is not a fact. An opinion is how you personally feel about something. So, yeah. And you don't let anyone's opinions bother you anymore most of the time. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way, man. Oh, God. Unleashed. Oh, I missed your comment, Mots. Unleashed was actually the first Skillet album you fell in love with, and it's one of the first albums you ever bought. Oh, okay. Well, Unleashed, and once again, my opinion, Unleashed, in my opinion, is Skillet's worst album that they've ever done. But I do recommend you check, if you haven't already, I recommend you checking out their albums Collide, Comatose, even Awake, and Rise. That's 4 albums between 2003 and when did Rise come out? 2013. So worse than the first albums? I don't know, because I haven't listened to Skillet's early stuff from 1996 when they first debuted. I haven't listened to that, but you know, oh, I would also recommend their 2001 album Alien Youth. I think that's a very underrated Skillet album. Oh, you have checked them out. Okay. What about Alien Youth, the one I just said? Ouch. Rise is still a really good album. I agree. Awake is some of their best songs. I also agree with that. When you think of Rise, you think of that guitar riff and Circus for a Psycho. Yeah, yeah, that is an awesome guitar riff and intro that they have. Oh, you didn't like Alien Youth? Well, that's cool. I find that a little disappointing, but to each his own. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, Mott's, I didn't like Alien Youth the first time I heard it, but it had to grow on me. God, I'm yawning so much. For you, Unleashed feels very watered down. Yeah, well, I think the reason that they made Unleashed how they made it was because their record label isn't a fan of like their when they get too heavy. And I heard that John Cooper had to fight to get that song "I Want to Live" on the album because the record label didn't even want that song on the album. But he actually had to fight in order to get it on. I read that somewhere. It's the record label's fault. It's not Skillet's fault. They're making what the label wants them to make. So Yeah, John Cooper did say that too. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the song "Famous." The the only the only songs from Unleashed that I can say I really do like are "Stars," "I Want to Live," um, "Out of Hell," "Burn It Down," "Watching for Comets," and "The Resistance." Oh, you've been practicing the bass part of "Hysteria" by Muse. Oh, that's cool, man. Like I said, I don't know that song. I don't listen to Muse, but that's cool. Practice makes perfect. And to think they use the same producer they used for Comatose. Yeah, I do find that hard to believe that it was the same guy. Your favorite on Unleashed is "I Want to Live." Yeah, I Want to Live is definitely in my top five. My personal favorite from Unleashed is "Watching for Comets" because I think that is a beautiful song that Skillet did well. Yeah, Mods, I can check out Hysteria. I'm not going to do it on the stream because I don't want to run the risk of getting a copyright strike. But I'll definitely listen to it and tell you what I think of it. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion at all, Jonathan, because I agree with you. I think "I Want to Live" is definitely one of Skillet's best songs. Yeah, man, I don't want to run the risk of getting a strike. I've had this channel for a while now. Uh, I've had this channel for a few years, but I didn't really start activating this channel and doing stuff on it till like last year. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Can you guys hear like a beeping sound, like a truck backing up? And of course, now that I say that, it stops. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, you did hear it. Okay. Huh. I think someone is moving in next door or something like that. Oh, no, it's a school bus. Never mind. Oh, I know what we could do. Um, how about you guys request some bands and some albums for me to check out? I'll write them down. Well, I don't have a pen and paper with me, but I'll write them down and check them out. And when we do another stream, I will get back to you guys. What genres? Rock, hard rock, metalcore, um, grunge, and punk rock mainly. Oh yeah, Jonathan, we definitely have similar music tastes. Definitely. All right, guys, I think I'm going to have to cut the stream off here in a little bit. Not because I want to, but because my laptop only has about a fourth of a battery left. But I'm not going to cut it off until you guys give me some suggestions. I have enough battery power to last until that. As if you guys are still here. I think you guys are still here. Okay, Matza, I actually do recognize two of those bands. I definitely know of Bush, and I've heard While She Sleeps. I wasn't huge on While She Sleeps, but Bush, I only know one song by them, and that's the song Glycerin, which I know is probably one of their most well known songs. As far as Local H, Adolescence, and Red Light King, I definitely have never heard of those bands. You recommend checking out Narnia and Theocracy? I've heard of Theocracy and Narnia. I think I've heard you mention them before too. Um, those are both Christian bands, aren't they? Like Christian metal or Christian rock bands? Razor Blade Suitcase. Oh, that's a Bush song. Okay, I thought that was like a name of one of their albums or a band, another band. Okay, Razor Blade Suitcase. So that is an interesting title for a song. I'll give them that. And I love interesting titles. That's what draws me in. Oh, it's Bush's second album. Okay. Bush has some odd titles. Yeah. It seems like a lot of grunge bands have some weird, funky titles for not only their albums, but their songs too. Because as you guys know, I just got into, thanks to Thomas Lozanovsky. I think that's how you say his last name. You know, he recommended that I check out Stone Temple Pilots and their 1994 album Purple. And I didn't, to be honest, I didn't think I would like it because, I mean, you know, in 1994, I was 2 years old in 1994. I was just a baby when that came out. And normally I don't like anything before my time. I know that's kind of closed minded. I know, I realize that, but that's just, well, I know it wasn't before my time. I was two, but I liked it. I liked, um, I liked it. What can I say? And there's one line in the song "Still Remains" from that album that has always stuck out with me, and it's a very unsanitary line, and you'll get what I mean when I say unsanitary. But it's in the chorus where it says where he says, you know, take a bath, I'll drink the water that you leave behind. And I'm like, so that's where that term comes from. When they say a girl's so hot that they'll drink her bath water. I think Scott Weiland or Wieland, however you said his name. I think that's how that term got started. That's very unsanitary. But no, that is a really good song. Like the only songs that I didn't care for off of Purple were the last three: Unglued, Army Ants, and was it Kitchenwares and Candy Bars? You talk about an odd, hey, whatever. Kitchenwares and Candy Bars. Wow. My favorites from Purple would have to be Vaseline, Loungefly, Pretty Penny, um, Big Empty, and Still Remains. Those are my top five. Top? Did I say top five? You think you'll like Unglued if I listen to it more? I doubt that, man. I've listened to it a couple of times, and it hasn't really grown on me yet. Well, anyway, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream now. Like I said, my laptop battery's almost gone, but I'm glad you guys decided to. I'm glad you guys decided to join me. Oh, it's probably in your top three favorite Stone Temple Pilots song. Well, that's cool. Maybe it'll grow on me over time. But my top three that I've heard so far from Stone Temple Pilots would probably be Vaseline, Still Remains, and Big Empty. Those are probably my personal top three from that album, with Pretty Penny and Lounge Fly coming in fourth and fifth. Oh yeah, man, you're welcome. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, wherever you are, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.